I started years ago as a gymnast, about the age of 7. That was really my introduction to meditation, to mindfulness, to stillness. And I feel like that was really what gave me the background to develop the qualities and skills that I needed for the types of practices that we offer now. The idea of being able to really maintain focus and concentration and to develop a discipline was a really empowering part of that path. As it's translated now, it finds itself in all of my yogic practices, in meditation, in pranayama, in movement, and dance. So I feel like that was really my first start, was being a gymnast. And then it kind of incorporated itself to dance. I became a dancer for a while and then went into yoga. And during that time, I was in college and I was studying exercise science and exercise physiology, as well as double majoring in psychology. And I did a minor in dance too, so it feels like it kind of brought all those things together. All the joys that I was experiencing through that time felt like they all were related to self-healing, and they all were related to different kinds of therapeutic ways to find ourself and our truth, and to dive deeper into who we are and embody that essence. Well, I came to shamanism through my husband Kobe. When we met, I was mostly practicing yoga and was a yoga teacher and Thai massage therapist, and did a lot of work with the physical body and also with the mind with my meditation practice and pranayama. But when I met him, he brought to me the practice of shamanism and introduced me to his teachers in Peru. And through that, I feel like we decided that together as a couple, we really wanted to invite people to explore how to bring these two medicines together, the fusion of yoga, which is really about union with all that is, and then bringing that to shamanism, which is really about the interaction with the spirit world. And so I've found that by bringing these two together, we are able to grant ourselves deeper access to the wisdom that is innate within us. I would say probably as a teacher, my specialty and my passion is bringing ceremony to a yoga class. And so rather than having it be a class that somebody comes to be informed of yoga postures and alignment, which is really valuable and important, I feel like that can be brought forth in a way that is truly ceremonial and is expansive and transformational. And so I feel like the classes that I hold are really an opportunity to create a sacred space for people to create intentions before they begin their practice that will allow them to explore their own inner healing, to explore their own transformation, to explore their own ways of awakening. So all of my classes, I feel, have a connection to spirit. And that's something that I like to connect with right away at the beginning of class. So even in our own, how are we connecting deeply to an inner resonance within, in that Om? And what does that mean to us? How can we connect to our higher self and our inner wisdom? And then bringing that through and carrying it forth throughout the entire class. So theme weaving is something that I'm really passionate about, and bringing that in a way that allows people to connect to this state of this collective life force that resonates in all of us, and let that be the driving force that allows us to tap into a greater level of consciousness throughout that class and hopefully beyond. I feel like as we develop this relationship with our higher self, it's a lot easier to start to align with our own gifts and align with what we are here to offer in this world, what our Dharma is. And for me, our collective Dharma is really awakening. And it is awakening to our purpose and understanding that when we collaborate with spirit, when we collaborate with the universe, we are unifying our intentions and therefore magnifying the richness of our everyday life in every moment. I knew that I wanted to open a retreat center that was related to wellness and mindfulness, and we would have yoga classes and different types of healing practices, but I hadn't really thought about who would teach the classes, and it didn't occur to me until we were already deep in the process of creating this retreat center. And the retreat center is called Present Moment in Mexico, and at the time I was living in Minneapolis, so I decided to take a yoga teacher training, which was a year-long training. And I finished in November, and at the end of that month we moved to Mexico and opened our retreat center. So by December I was teaching yoga, and this was back in 2005. And I spent the first 2 years there teaching every class every day, and eventually had a beautiful group of teachers who started to come and fill in the spaces. So I was able to step back a little bit more, and I had an opportunity to travel a bit, so I came to Guatemala. And in Guatemala, I found another advanced yoga teacher training. And that brought me to my 500-hour level certification with Yoga Alliance, and really gave me another skill set that I was able to then bring back to my community in Mexico. And I found that really what was important to me is teaching from a place of heart-centered awareness. And so my inspiration would often come from other teachers and nature and quotes and other people that I've studied with. And so I still find today that that's how I teach. I get inspired by something, and then that's what I like to bring to the class. And I like to theme my classes based on particular intentions that are exciting to me at that time. My message, I would say, is really a greater universal message that isn't my own. And I believe that it comes from the divine. And it has been well said by the Hopi elders. The tribe of the Hopi often say that we are the ones that we've been waiting for. And I feel like that is a beautiful message that allows us to recognize that we are already one. We are already here doing what we need to do. And so it's really about remembering our path, remembering our purpose, remembering our greater intention for the greater good. And my hope is that I can help individuals and groups along their path as they journey toward more spirituality, more self-realization, and ultimately into this space of oneness, which is the ultimate space of being pure, whole, and knowing the true self. So that's my mission and my goal, and I sure love it. Aho.